In the heart of America's past, when baseball wasn't just a game but the lifeline of a nation, one man rose from humble beginnings to become a legend. His name was Joe Medwick, but to fans he was simply known as Ducky. He wasn't just another player in the roaring 1930s. Medwick was the face of a hungry generation that needed hope during the Great Depression. With every crack of his bat, he gave fans something to believe in. His hits weren't just runs on a scoreboard. They were echoes of resilience in a time when America needed heroes. But behind the applause was a man destined to face one of the most shocking moments in baseball history. A pitch, a sudden silence, and an injury that tested not just his body, but the very soul of a champion. Soft pause, heartbeat sound effect. Tonight, we dive deep into the story of Joe Medwick, the glory, the pain, and the legacy that refuses to fade. What happens when the greatest hitter of his time suddenly falls victim to the one thing every ballplayer fears? What happens when one pitch, one moment, brings a giant crashing down? This isn't just history. This is the unforgettable story of Joe Medwick. And once you hear it, you'll never look at the game the same way again. Joe Medwick's journey began in Carteret, New Jersey, where a boy with working-class roots fell in love with the game. He fought his way up the minor leagues until the St. Louis Cardinals, the infamous Gashouse Gang, gave him a shot in 1932. From the moment he stepped onto the field, it was clear Medwick was special. His bat was loud, his style aggressive, his heart unshakable. By 1934, he was a star on a Cardinals team filled with legends like Dizzy Dean. That year, in the World Series, Medwick's fiery play and fearless style made him both a hero and a target. Rival fans booed him mercilessly after a rough slide. Yet even in that hostile storm, Medwick stood tall. His greatest triumph came in 1937, when he achieved the rarest honor in baseball, the Triple Crown. He led the league in batting average, home runs, and RBIs, a feat so rare that even decades later, only a handful of players have ever matched it. That same year, he was crowned the National League MVP. For a moment in history, Joe Medwick stood alone as the most feared hitter in the game. But fate had other plans. In the late 1930s and 1940s, pitchers had grown tired of Medwick's dominance. Inside pitches came closer, the tension rising with every game. And then it happened. A fastball, a weapon of speed and power, struck Medwick. The crowd gasped, his teammates rushed to his side, and for a chilling moment, the man who once looked invincible lay broken on the ground. The injury scarred more than just his face. It shook his confidence, slowed his bat, and cast a shadow on his once unstoppable career. Fans who had once cheered now whispered, would he ever be the same? But Joe Medwick was not a man who gave up. He returned, scarred but determined. He fought for every hit, every inning, every moment of glory. Even though the injury robbed him of his peak dominance, Medwick still carved out a career that most players could only dream of. By the end, he had over 2,400 hits, more than 1,200 RBIs, a .324 lifetime batting average, a World Series championship, and 10 All-Star selections. His fire, his grit, and his story left an imprint on baseball that would last forever. In 1968, baseball finally gave him what he had earned long ago, induction into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. The boy from New Jersey, who rose to stardom, faced tragedy, and fought back with resilience, was immortalized as one of the game's true legends. And yet, the most powerful part of his story is not in the numbers, but in the way he stood up after life tried to knock him down. Joe Medwick's life reminds us of something bigger than baseball. It's about courage. It's about resilience. It's about refusing to let one moment define your future. He was a fighter who gave America hope during its hardest days, who faced pain head-on, and who still found his way to greatness. And now, it's up to us to keep his story alive. If this story touched your heart, if you believe legends like Joe Medwick deserve to be remembered forever, then do one thing right now. Hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and share this video with every baseball fan you know. Because stories like this are more than history. They are reminders of who we are and what we can overcome. This was Joe Medwick's journey. A man, a legend, a fighter, and forever a hero of America's game.